delayed. Technical. But it's so great to see everyone. Delayed. Technical.
There you go.
Oh.
There we are. All right, greetings. So, Mr. Jalil, how are you? Happy New Year.
I'm ready to get into it, Andre.
Let's go.
52% of people at the beginning of the year feel confident that they're going to complete their New Year's resolution. You want to know how many actually do?
Tell us.
Statistically, 9%. 9% of people actually feel successful at the end of the year in completing their New Year's resolutions. While 52% at the beginning,
But
they're
here's
like, oh,
the
we can do
piece
it.
that I think I'm more confused about. Only 52% of people are goal setting?
ooh.
That's the piece that's got me thinking. So
Wait
we
a
can
minute. Actually,
revisit
wait
that.
a minute.
We can revisit that.
Wait a
Anywho.
minute. So we're out here. It's January. You know, everybody's doing it. Oh, New Year's resolution. But
Right.
I didn't even think of it like that.
Mm.
So they're setting the New Year's resolution, but only half of people are actually thinking that they're going to follow through.
This is astounding.
Outstanding. Statistics. I love statistics.
So what are we doing?
Why do people even set a resolution?
Mm.
Who set resolutions before? Anybody here?
I have.
I set resolutions before.
What's the reason for it? Because we have I know those that are watching are feeling fresh and excited about the year. They say, 23 was a new me, right? Or something like that. Free in 23, 24, I want more.
I'm gonna get
people
more
always,
in 24.
I'm going to get more in 24. We always come up with some catchy slogan to match the year, the energy level.
I always say, new year, new me.
Yes.
And people post and people show their meals and their meal plan and people show their new, like they laid out all their outfits. I'm organized this time. I'm getting up early. I'm going to take my dog on a walk.
Yes.
People have mapped out the whole thing and then they sputter out and putter out. So what's the reason why, what are some of the reasons why you personally have set resolutions, and then what have you found that worked for you and what have you found that's not? Because we're going to cover how our business is that are tuning in can personally execute at a higher level with this. We're going to read off some staggering information. Jalil started off that conversation that we can see some of the businesses and individuals who have set things in motion and then they lose energy and then it disappears and it just becomes a fading memory. It just goes in the list of, the graveyard, right? So talk to me, people.
Well, I think that the root is remembering your reason why you do everything that you do. So saying a New Year's resolution is simply like getting it out of your head. Like most people say, you need to write it down.
That's right.
Or claim it or, whatever the case may be. But I'm mentally prepared to just live better. So
there we go.
just making a statement, a blanket statement it's not going to make or break anybody, but it's good intentions, I believe,
Yeah, that's really good. I got into making resolutions because of social pressure. I was first introduced in middle school. I'm like, oh, what's your New Year's resolution? So my teacher, I think, was trying to be innovative, you know, and that was really the first time I ever heard of it. And then I was more aware because everyone's kind of doing, as an adult, I've learned, I don't really do the resolution thing. I'm more about what is my goal and what are the actions that I'm willing to commit to. And personally, I'm learning to get better with my boundaries this year. So that is something like we had a team meeting yesterday and we're talking about what we're picking up, putting down into the next year. Boundaries is something that's huge for me and knowing my limits. Like I haven't been very good at that. And so now when I can say, okay, I don't have forever. I don't have infinite energy. So if I can say, this is what I want to accomplish, I'm going to chunk these things out into little pieces through the week.
That's good.
And these are the small things that I can commit to doing on a weekly basis. That's kind of what I look at because I feel like the resolution's almost too big. It's like 365 days. But if I can break it out to 90 days, break it down to 7 days a week, okay, you know what? let me just post twice a week on my business. This year I'm just gonna post twice a week, and I've got some other side projects. I'm gonna make a weekly effort for at least 1 hour.
It's good.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can stomach that. It feels real enough, you know, but
Yeah.
I feel like the resolutions that people make, we can get into the stats, but a lot of them are making them too big, too unrealistic, or they're not choosing the few actions that it takes to actually get there on a consistent, small chunk weekly basis. They're just trying to eat the whole elephant,
Yeah.
you know? And so it's like, you want it, that's
And
great.
How do you eat
it's
an
overwhelming.
elephant? One bite
One bite at a time.
at a time. I never tried to eat an elephant, by the way.
For those of you who are joining,
We want to see you in the comments.
Share right now. Share it out. Share it
yes,
out.
like I know we all do it, so please go ahead and put it in the chat. What is it what resolutions did you set for yourself? Do you set resolutions? How do you do it? Do you follow through? Do you not follow through?
For your life, for your business, and in particular,
Yeah.
we're talking about how to overcome failed business resolutions.
Absolutely.
We want our businesses to be strong. We want them to be effective. We want them to be highly profitable and cash flowing, and we want long time repeat customers. We don't
Right.
want people who come and they partake of your service or your product or your good, and then you never see them again. And they can rave about it, but if you don't build a connection, that customer is not going to remain, and you're not going to have a loyal community. We want all of our businesses to build up communities that last long, to where the word of mouth becomes the greatest trigger for people to want to be engaged in your business.
Oh, Jillian wants to know, did you already introduce yourself in your business? We normally do always introduce ourselves.
Maybe we should introduce ourselves. Perfect. Perfect segue. I'm Jaleel Vester. I'm the business education coordinator on the team. And I'll just leave it at that.
Perfect.
Just
I'm
leave it at that.
Andre. I am the Vice President of Economic Development.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Rea, and I am our social media and marketing specialist on the team.
Everything. And I'm Mara. I finished out the team. I'm the Economic Development Program Manager here. And I will just take the lead. So outside of managing this program, I also have a beauty business. And so last year, and I've had this, not a resolution per se, but goal. Every year I've wanted to decorate for the holidays. Like, it seems really simple, but when you're overbooked and busy,
Right.
it just never happens. December comes and goes so fast, you know? So this year I actually put up some trees and for my black Santa and my black angel and my little mini
Come on.
wreaths, lighted wreaths are out, and it just felt so good. You know, it's just like, knock it off the list. Just try it, you know? And so far into the year, I have done one of the things that I wanted to try, which was just a better balance, work-life health balance. And so I was telling a few of my colleagues yesterday in the all-staff meeting that I tried hot yoga.
Hey,
And
come on.
it was so nice. Like, people have been telling me to try it for years, but I didn't make any time to even try it out. And it's like the remedy for 30 degrees in Seattle. Go try hot yoga. It's 100 degrees in the room.
Yes.
It was amazing. And it's just stretching. So, you know, just use it or lose it mentality. Like, knock the little things off the to-do list first, you know, and build up to the bigger ones if that's what you need to do.
So I want to ask you a question, Mara. What are some of the reasons that you see, being a person who owns a business, what are some of the ways that you have seen, both either in your own experience or people who are in your realm of connection? What are the reasons that businesses who set resolutions, what are the reasons that you've seen them fail or lose momentum? Or should they even not even go about setting resolutions? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I don't have an issue with anybody setting goals to do better. You know, call it whatever you want. But I think baggage or the lack or the accumulation of procrastination, I think, is kind of the thing that knocks people off their positive track. You know, you take a couple steps back when it's comfortable. You know, so be uncomfortable. You know, go like I said, go out, do something that you've always wanted to do. Maybe you have more time this year. Hopefully, you do have more time by you know, giving tasks to maybe an assistant or somebody in your team that is easier managing that particular responsibility to free up yourself to do those things that's going to take you to the next level, whatever that may be. But it's up to you to sit down and think.
Yeah.
So listen to some of
So
these.
good.
Of course, thank you for that. 9 to 12% of people keep their resolutions, their New Year's resolutions. According to a 2016 study, of the 41% of Americans who make New Year's resolutions, by the end of the year, only 9% feel they are successful in keeping them. An earlier study in 2007 showed that 12% of people who set resolutions are successful, even though 52% of the participants were confident of success at the beginning. So the fact that people start, and the reasons for failure is, let's list them off. Number one, 35% of participants who failed said they had unrealistic goals. And I think that my challenge with resolutions, I made them because of, I love Jalil's social pressures comment, because it's kind of cultural that if you're in certain environments, people are saying, hey, it's only right that you would set some sort of goal for yourself, and you should set some sort of resolve that you're going to do this. Well, for me, one of the most life-changing things that I had that happen was I was listening to Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn made this statement. He's kind of a business philosopher. He made this statement. He's a shout out to, like, he's the father kind of like the motivation
OG
stuff. He's
of
an
a lot of
OG
them.
to a lot of people. All the people that you love, they all listen to Jim Rohn. So Jim Rohn said this statement where he said he wanted to become financially independent, and he said at that mindset, he said if you wanted to become a millionaire, don't become a millionaire because of the money, become a millionaire because of the type of person you'd have to become to generate $1 million worth of value. And I said, that's powerful. This perception of
Absolutely.
when what is our inputs and our outputs,
Yeah.
and what type of person do we have to become to have the type of business outcomes that we want? Because the unrealistic goals, to me, speaks of, it's unrealistic because we're not willing to pay the price tag to get to that thing that we're saying. We're saying, I want a $20 million business, and we're barely stewarding $200 worth of business that is coming our way. Those customers can't find us for the $2,000 worth of business that we're doing, or the $20,000 worth of business. I don't know what your level is and what your scope is, but the reality of unrealistic goals, what do you guys think about that? Why do you think people set, or what do you think is an unrealistic goal, and why do people set it?
You know what? There was something that I realized a long time ago, that I feel like people don't give themselves or others enough grace. And I think that's huge. I mean, we talked about in our team meeting yesterday about shame, shaming others, shaming yourself. And I think that once I realized that in order for me to grow, I have to give myself grace. I've grown way more. And I think that that's part of why people don't reach their resolutions, because they're just so hard on themselves. And talking about this with one of our members at RHF, Rainier Health and Fitness, with Marla, it's like when you're so strict and it's like, I'm gonna go to the gym 5 days a week, you miss one day of the week, oh man, like you're so hard on yourself because you weren't able to reach it, you know. And so, and that was me last year. You know, so really it's giving myself grace. Like, okay, I tried that. I tried the 5 days a week. It wasn't sustainable for me. Let's give myself that grace. Let's readjust. What type of person do I want to be? What is sustainable for me? What can I commit to? How can I change my mindset to accomplish that goal? So I think you hit it on the head too, and so did Andre, where it's like, it's about the person that you have to become really to reach these things. And those are the goals that I set for myself this coming year. It's more about who I'm going to become, what is going to be my attitude stepping into every day. It's not yes, there's like little goals that I've set here and there, but that isn't the bigger picture. If you reach those goals at the end of the day, like I think one thing I told myself is like make the most out of every day. And I tell that to myself repeatedly, like throughout the day. It's like, are you making the most out of today with what you're doing in this very moment?
Yeah.
And then if I'm not, I get up and I start doing what I need to be doing to make the most out of every day. And I set myself up daily, like the night before. I'm like, all right, I gotta get up at this time, gotta have this food ready. Like, what do I need to have ready to make the most out of tomorrow? And I feel like by just even creating that mantra, getting to December 31st of 2024, I'm gonna accomplish a lot. I don't know what, but I know I'll accomplish a lot because my mindset has changed.
Yeah.
And that's what I've put in place.
That's huge. That literally makes me start thinking about. So I was in this coaching group, and the guy that was facilitating, he talked about creating the man that you want to become, and that's like what you're spot on. I kind of akin it to like Michelangelo's statue of David. It's like Michelangelo, the artist, he saw in the marble this man, and he had to chisel him out one piece at a time, and nobody saw David in there. And at certain points, you're probably like, what is that mess that's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like this. Imagine Michelangelo a quarter way through the statue of David, chiseling. You're like, okay, it looks like, I don't know. That's weird. There's probably certain parts that were coming out that was like, what is this guy doing? He's a freak. But then he gets done with the product, and you're like, wow, look at this timeless piece. You know, and it's like, that's what we're doing. And I do love this month of January because we are, all of us as human beings, we're all on the same frequency of hope and potential. And I do like, and the cool thing is like, everyone just has this sense of expectation. Like, it's a new year, new beginnings. We've got a shot at becoming something different, doing something different, doing something better. You know, like changes in the air. And this is the first few months of the year where it's like, everyone does feel that motivation. And then it's just on us to translate it. But I continually go back to, who is that man I'm creating? And that like, just chisel one at a time. And I'm not going to look like the finished product today, but if I just made an incremental progress towards it, you know, like maybe I didn't make it to the gym, but you know what? I stopped to do 50 push-ups today. I just got a little bit closer to my goal because of who I'm becoming, you know? And so it is that grace, and it's that commitment, and it's that consistency. And as we start to get better in those things, then we start to create the world that we envision, you know? And I believe that's what we
So being honest
do in
and
business.
being honest and reflective about the progress or the lack of progress that you made on what you set is a huge step. You talked about that. Am I becoming who am I becoming? That was another question that was posed when I heard this Jim Rohn teaching over 20-some years ago. Now, we base so much of our reality out of the scriptures because we believe it's the perfect anchor. And I love that question of, it's not how much you're making from a job, it's who are you becoming by being a part of that job.
That's right.
Or who are you becoming in your business, or who are you becoming with how you treat your customers.
Absolutely.
Sorry, got a phone call. I didn't expect
Yeah, so I'm hearing everybody and their positive vibes. Like, it's really an amazing space to be in. But I just want to remind everyone that you typically are your worst critic. You can be your biggest supporter too, but it's all about balance. And one thing that I recognized as Q4 came to a close last year is I wasn't surrounding myself with people who I wanted to be like. You know, so
that's key.
That's something that I put in motion before I wrapped up 2023. I wanted to make sure you know, I was surrounding myself with people that I could learn from, people that were equally motivated. You know, I don't want to be surrounded by people that believe, you know, they can rob Peter to pay Paul. No, I think there's better ways to live, and it truly is a lifestyle. I don't want to block my blessings, you know, so Yeah, it's really nice to be around new energy. So if you need to find some new friends, I'm trying to tell you, the world is full of new people.
And we have a lot of those friends you need to meet in our community.
Mm-hmm.
Be a part of our community. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell your frenemies. They may not become your frenemies anymore. We can pull them off the edge. They're teetering between becoming your friend or your colleague, right? Even your ally for business, because you don't have to exactly like everyone you do business with. It would be ideal, but that's cool, right?
Right.
So what Mara's saying is about upgrading your circle. What's the contingency plan? So we talk about being reflective because we want to give you some practical steps that you can use to make sure that this year you hit these objectives that you've set. Some of you may not have set objectives, but now's the time to clear the slate and to be realistic about it, saying, okay, now I'm going to be reflective on the progress. I'm going to track the progress. I'm going to measure. If you're not measuring, how can you count? How can it grow? How can it expand if you're never measuring it? Are you also having a contingency plan, which means a backup plan for it? So somebody says, oh, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week. Well, maybe it's not the wisest goal if they don't go to the gym at all, right? But if they went to the gym at least 2 times a week and they said, I'm trying to boost to 4 times a week, double that. What is the inputs it's going to take for that? What about customers? If you said, I currently have this amount of customers and I want to expand or I want to serve this customer greater, then be customer centric. Go do those interviews with those customers and find out what they enjoyed about your business. What did they need? What problems are they facing? This is the way that we become. It can't be about us. Nobody cares about us. Nobody cares. Just, I'm sorry to say it, but it's like besides your family and your loved ones, nobody really cares about. I don't even have this phone that I have because I cared about Steve Jobs. I want to go give Steve Jobs a hug. No, at the time, it was solving a specific problem. So we lined up, we spent all the money, and we got pulled into the ecosystem. And they're not a sponsor. But that's the point I'm making is that whatever it is that we're going through, think about how you set your goals for your business or you set your objectives. And then you're figuring out, am I measuring it? Am I tracking it? Am I being realistic with it? Am I reflecting? Right? Am I establishing a backup plan to address the potential challenges and setbacks? What are you anticipating? We sit down as a team, and we did this a lot last year, and we haven't done our first one this year. But when we look at things, we go through a plan, and we talk about this in regards to what are the challenges that are going to come up. What would happen if we don't do this? Right? We have a sheet and a framework that we put in place as a team for this because we want to think comprehensively and not just kind of reactionary. Thoughts, people?
No, that's huge.
I was just going to say that I think a key thing is that if you realize that you're slipping or something isn't right in your system, like you don't have to wait till January 1st or the end of the year. Like
Absolutely.
you can be in May or June or July or August, doesn't matter, and you realize like, oh, I'm not surrounded around the people I want to be surrounded around. Change that, like in the moment, like do something about it. Not like, oh man, like if I keep doing this, like don't let it linger. Like just, it doesn't matter what day of the year it is. Like you can make that change any day. You can decide.
Today is the day for
Today is the day.
salvation.
No,
Let's go.
real talk. Reminds me of this quote. If you wanted to plant a forest, the best day to do it was 20 years ago. But the next best day to do it is today.
Yeah.
You just get started,
Yeah.
And I would say that
You're
kind
like
of
Yoda.
reflecting on our conversation, real talk.
It's hard.
We feel a level of energy from like the motivation, but
Yeah.
motivation is fleeting. I would say that like true like happiness is found in when we start making progress in something.
It brings pleasure.
Pleasure it is. It's like
Yeah.
when our intentions become reality, we're really activating that level of our creator. Like God created us to create, and so
That's
it's
right.
when our intentions become reality, when we can bring our imagination into reality, we're being like God, and that energizes us. Like Mara was saying, she saw that she wasn't around the people that she needed to be around to get to the level she wanted to get to, and before the next year came, she started the ball rolling. And then when you start to feel that progress, even just making that first step is like, wow, that felt good,
That's
And
good.
so tactics though, because I'll give you guys a nugget because we're going to talk about more of this stuff in principles. All right, this is our next principles class is coming up at the end of this month, and it's going to roll into Sharks at the Beach. If you get into principles, it's going to heighten your odds of being able to get into Sharks. And as we know, Sharks at the Beach is our business incubator cohort. Our last year's winner was able to win $5,000 as seed capital towards their business. So shout out to principles. One of the things we talk about is lead measures and lag measures. Okay, lead measures are the things that are exciting. It's the money at the end of the month. It's the transaction. It's the sale. It's, oh, I earned $10,000 in commissions. Everyone wants to track the lead measures. Let me back that up. Lag measures are the big things, the revenue at the end of the month, the sales, the commissions. Lead measures are the things that you track that get you to the big number. It's how many people did I talk to today? How many phone calls did I make? How many pop buys did I complete? How many text messages did I send out?
It's input, output, outcomes. Let's go.
Input, output, is tracking the lead measures. What is your inputs? The inputs are the things that you can control. Lag measures are the things that are results. So we talk more about that in principles and how to really create a game plan, and we help you create a 90-day game plan to accomplish your goals. So if getting motivation and momentum and bringing your intentions into actions is something that you're looking to do, I would highly suggest you sign up for the
Sign up
Principles
now.
course.
What are you waiting for?
So yeah, we'll have
Yes,
links
and
there.
principles is just something you just register for and show up.
It's for everyone.
Sharks at the Beach is something you do have to apply for, and you get accepted.
So bring the applications. We put the content up for you to bite the hook. Come
Yes.
on. We're excited about that. So establish a contingency plan. Focus on your customers, redirect your focus on understanding and meeting the needs of your customers, leverage data and communicate. Use data to make informed decisions and communicate changes effectively to your customers. This is the time. Are you using the data? Do you have a way to track data from your customers? If you don't, this is the time to systemize. We're not talking about building fly-by-night businesses that once upon a time, remember when I was in business? No, we want businesses where we can look at analytics and data. This is it. All the companies, the reasons why we can even use YouTube or any of these for free is because they're selling the data. They're collecting the data. The cat's out the bag. That's what it is. It's all about the data, right? This is where we're at, is that we've got to become adept and we have to become fluent in how to interpret and how to collect and gather data. Good marketing is gathering information. It's not just talking about, look at my thing. This is my thing. Look at my new shiny widget. Good marketing is that which is you're giving something away that is going to gather the information, and people are going to give you their information to which you can build a list upon, and which you can make better decisions on tweaking your campaigns and making the product better and get stronger connection to your customer. So we hope that this live was extremely helpful to set the foundation for the new year. That, when we say 2024, I want more. How do we get more in 2024? How do we overcome the lag that takes place when people start out, and they call it the law of diminishing intent, that you start out and you intend to do something, and the further you move away from that, the harder it is to execute on it. Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna become more physically fit. Well, drop at that moment and do 5 push-ups. I don't care if it's 5 push-ups. Do 2 push-ups if you can only do 2 push-ups, because you're sending a signal to your brain that you're serious about what you're saying. We lose confidence when we haven't been able to execute on following through on what we're going to say. So let's speak less and act more. Let's get around people that are going to hold us accountable and get in a community where people are actually going in the same direction. And that's what we offer here at Urban Impact. That's what we offer with our programs, is like-minded individuals going after similar goals in different verticals, in different industries, that really want to see things go to the next level. We want to go from, the scriptures say, to go from faith to faith and from glory to glory. We want to see our businesses go. They're ever increasing and they're getting better and that they're getting stronger. Any other thoughts, my colleagues, as we are rounding the landing strip?
Well, I guess my final thought, thank you, Mr. Benjamin. And since we're all about the Benjamins, in the words of Benjamin Franklin, well done is better than well said. So let's get after it. You like that?
It's all about the Benjamins.
I just thought of the quote that our business coach Chris Mathis says is be quick to build and slow to sell.
Mm.
And so, yeah, that's just has stuck with me.
Shout out to Chris.
Everything
You
that
should
I
be
do.
tuning in.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna wrap it up and say, do a little research this year. You know, see what tools or technology is out there that will help enhance whatever your business activity is. It could be something as simple as adding a bot, to your Zoom calls
good.
to take notes, so you can maybe focus on the content and come back and pick it up and make it be beneficial in your enterprise. So yeah, don't be scared. If you know better, you do better.
More workshops coming. We have Sharks at the Beats. We have principles. This is the time. This is the place. This is the year. Why not you? Why not now? Why not your business? Time to explode. We appreciate you. We value you. And we are praying for you this year. Shalom, shalom. We'll see you next time. Peace.
And blessings.
And we'll get sued for